The memorial here was dedicated in 2002. It is the state of Massachusetts Vietnam Veterans Memorial. It's situated on 4 acres here in the city of Worcester. It's in Green Hill Park, which is right off of Route 9 in Worcester, which is a main thoroughfare coming through. It honors those Massachusetts soldiers who were killed in action.
The Boston Veterans, Vietnam Veterans of America, acronym VVA, started a group to try and select a location and a design for a Vietnam Vets Memorial. That led to a statewide competition. It led to a site search committee to try and find a site that was centralized. A lot of the emphasis wanted to be in Boston, and we as veterans felt it should be more centrally located. So Worcester was an area that we approached. The mayor and the board, the council and so forth allowed us to look at about 10-12 sites in Worcester. This was selected because it had the pond, and the pond, the water element, and the rice paddy theory of Vietnam with the aquatic vegetation was an important part of it. Green Hill Park is a signature park in Massachusetts. It has a petting zoo, it has community gardens, it has 1800s refectory, fishing in the pond and the lake, has an 18-hole golf course that is very reasonable for the charges. So, I mean, it's just everything it can be to the city. And as we went through the competition, the competition was done by some artisans, and they presented a scheme that had the place of flags, which was the entrance and gateway to the memorial. Then they had the place of names, which listed the 1,550 men who gave their ultimate sacrifice. And the place of words, which was a selection of letters from literally thousands of letters that the committee selected to put on the 80-ton granite monoliths. Every one of these monoliths is between 70 and 80 tons.
I believe that I made it to protect these names of these people that served and died over there. I played football against a couple, I played football with a couple, and I hung around with a few of them. As you can see, we have the place of words, which is very impressive. It's a beautiful memorial. I've been around states that have memorials, but they're not as big as this. Believe it or not, I think that's why I made it over there, because I was wounded the second week I was there, and I said, this is great. I only got 50 more weeks to go, and I already hit the jackpot. So this is a beautiful memorial, as you can see, with the place of names, which is very important to the veteran who served over there, which I did. I was a combat veteran of the 1st Infantry Division in Vietnam.
There's actually 1,545 names engraved on the monoliths that are surrounding us now. We have family members that come up here and they're looking for their names. So all the names are listed here. We are very blessed that we have volunteers who take care of this memorial over the seasons. The pathways need to be plowed. We have a group that has come forward of Vietnam veterans called Vietnam Veterans for the Community. They volunteer to come up, and they might be just picking up trash, or they're seeing where maybe there was some damage to some trees. They help with the fundraising.
We, after 18 years, were able to convince the state through the Governor's Council to fund through the Department of Veterans Services a $1.2 million grant to construct this, which started in about 2000. It was completed in 2002 with a large ceremony with Senator John Kerry. We had a helicopter flyover, very, very deja vu of Vietnam. And that was a surprise to everyone. No one expected it. So you can imagine the Vietnam vets sitting in the bleachers, and all of a sudden a squad of helicopters coming over. It's a little bit shaky. You didn't, you thought you were in a different place. The firm of Weston and Sampson, which I work for, I'm a senior landscape architect, was able to win the project because I think I was quite familiar with the whole design competition and so forth, and ended up doing the construction monitoring, and we're currently designing further improvements. What happened was there were fields built up on the hill behind here, and the runoff from that area tends to wash out areas. So you'll see a whole new drainage, swale, and boardwalk system. But there's a walkway all around the 4 acres, some with boardwalk to cross wetlands and so forth. Kids fish in the pond. All of the monoliths in the pond are lit at night, so you can read the letters at any time. It's truly I think a magnificent sight, because it's not just a piece of stone. It's something you experience, and you have different experiences as you go through it.
Big part of this memorial is to have funds to be able to maintain it. Over the years, we've gotten funding from the state of Massachusetts through yearly supplements, but with the crisis the way it is with the economy, in the last couple of years, to include the next fiscal year, we haven't been allowed any monies. We do the fundraising as best we can, or the volunteers to do the work. Right. So we're not paying people. It is maintained through the city of Worcester Parks Department. It started off at like $10,000. So there are the laborers that will be out here mowing the lawns. We apply for grants every year, so we might get a grant to replace perennials or trees that might have been damaged. We go through the Bank of America, through the Wheeler grant. We have, on a small scale, over the years, we've had events like golf tournaments. You know, those raise a couple $1,000s. We do have some items that we might be selling on our website. We do have a website.
The city of Worcester has done just a phenomenal job in taking care of it. The landscape materials, the stonework, everything is kept in such a grand fashion with no money, literally.
I myself am a veteran. I wasn't in Vietnam, but I served during the Vietnam era, and the job, it was just part of the job that you'd be involved in planning the memorial. So there was a committee of about 30 people. It was chaired by Pierce Gould, who was the former veterans agent prior to me, and I was the secretary. And it's just been a labor of love, like you said, and some of the committee members have changed over the years.
But the committee deserves a tremendous amount of credit for continually working on this. God bless America and our veterans. One of the things we'd like to have come out of this interview and the video and so forth is to possibly allow people to contribute to the upkeep of the memorial on a perpetual basis.